there gamers, big news today as the patch notes for the May 1st update have finally dropped. In today's video, we'll be going through the Thrills and Frills update patch notes and a short list of new content and improvements for expansion pass owners. Of course, you'll want to stay tuned until the end of the video because we'll also be discussing the potential for additional changes not cited in the patch notes. You already know the drill. Before we get started, I'd like to encourage you to press that like button as it helps more people discover my channel. Consider subscribing for more Disney Dreamlight Valley and gaming content. If you'd like to enjoy the update live with friends, consider joining our Twitch community. I'll be live the moment the update releases. Now with that out of the way, let's get started. And here's the official tweet you guys today Dreamlight Valley posted on their socials saying we've got another free update arriving in the Valley and Act 2 of Disney Dreamlight Valley, A Rift in Time for expansion pass holders, launching on May 1st. Dig into our latest patch notes here. As usual, our patch notes today start with a little message for the players stating, "Hey Valley villagers, it's time to kick off an exciting week for Disney Dreamlight Valley with your seasonal dose of patch notes. Now get those touch of magic designs ready. Disney Dreamlight Valley's Thrills and Frills update arrives on May 1st, 2024. Check out all the details below." And for the moment you've all been waiting for, we're going to dive into the new content and improvements available to all players. Of course, many of the items listed here we were already aware of thanks to the dev showcase, but there are some very interesting changes in here which were not previously revealed by the Dreamlight Valley team. Our first line in the new content is referencing Daisy, saying, "Welcome another feathered friend to the Valley. It's Daisy Duck. Complete new friendship quests and help this style icon rekindle her past relationships as you unlock unique items." Exploring this a bit further states, "Help Daisy open the boutique, a new building dedicated to sharing your personal style with friends. Display and share custom touch of magic designs, both clothing and furniture during Valley visits." Looking for another way to flex those creative muscles? Drop into the boutique each day to help Daisy redecorate a corner of the shop and take on her inspiration prompts to earn exclusive items, including new touch of magic clothing and furniture bases. So this particular line was very interesting to me as it is revealing a daily activity we'll be able to participate in. And while we knew we were going to be able to unlock exclusive items, we didn't necessarily know how we were going to go about that. So this is pretty cool to see. Our next line is referencing the Star Path and it says, "It's time for even more Disney Parks magic." Our newest Star Path, A Day at Disney, offers up exciting new Disney Parks inspired rewards, including new attractions, dream styles for Daisy Duck and Minnie Mouse, a snacky little animal companion, among many other rewards. Now, the snacky little animal companion is most likely just referencing the popcorn squirrel we already knew about. Daisy Duck getting a dream style in the Star Path is not too much of a surprise, as that's been pretty consistent with previous updates, bringing dream styles for newly added characters. But the one for Minnie Mouse is a welcome surprise. Though, for me personally, I think I would have rather seen a dream style for a villager that doesn't have a dream style yet, and we already have Platinum Minnie. Maybe I'll change my tune when I see this dream style. I know a lot of you love the Platinum dream styles, but for me, they're a little bland. I'm not a huge fan of them, so maybe this new Minnie dream style will be more up my alley. This next section talks about being able to ride the Disney Park rides and using the selfie mode on the camera. Please keep your arms and legs inside the attraction at all times. Ride many of the Disney Parks attractions available in the Valley. Now, I want to stop there because a lot of people have been asking me, do you think we're going to be able to ride the Tower of Terror, and or asking me how that's going to work? And I told them, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think this is going to allow us to ride all the rides. And this pretty much does confirm that because it says many of the Disney Parks attractions. So yeah, we're not going to be able to ride all of them, but due to the size and scale of some of the rides, there's really no way we could. Moving on here, ride many of the Disney Parks attractions available in the Valley, including attractions from last year's Star Path, and take a selfie to commemorate the occasion. When optionally riding attractions, those with motion sensitivities may prefer to switch to selfie mode for increased comfort by pressing the change camera mode button upon interacting with the attraction. Now, this is interesting because it shows we'll have more angles than what they revealed in the developer video. The developer video just showed a villager riding the rides in selfie mode, but this right here reveals that you'll you'll be able to see it from different angles as well, which is a nice and welcome surprise. Next up, we have something that was teased on social media by the Dreamlight Valley team, stating villagers will now send you mail and sometimes even gifts on occasion, giving you a great reason to check your mailbox regularly. Now, as far as this goes, I'm pretty excited to see how it's going to work, what the letters are going to be like. I think this is going to be a really funny and cute feature, and I'm pretty excited to see more about it. And our next two lines are going to be focused on multiplayer. First off, it says here, it's selfie time. All players can now use photo mode during valley visits. And like I mentioned before, this is huge to me as a content creator because I love touring valleys, and now that I can enter photo mode, I'm going to be able to get a closer look at things, and that makes me very, very happy. I'm also super excited about this because it's going to allow me to do a new special event stream once a month where I invite my viewers over for photo shoots. So each month I'm going to build a special photo scene area, and then throughout the entire stream we're going to rotate people in and out and take group photos. So if you'd like a Disney Dreamlight Valley photo with yours truly, check the video description down below for a link to my Twitch channel. More information about the dates and times will be made available after the update. Next up, it says it's not just your camera. Many of the activities you're used to doing solo are now possible with friends, including fishing, gardening, mining, cooking, crafting, and if you've been to Eternity Isle, time bending. Now, this is very interesting to me, as it doesn't say all activities, just many activities. And they also did not include digging here in the list, which is funny because they put it in a social media post as a joke saying, are you going to dig holes on people's valleys? Maybe they walked that back after everyone said yes, they were going to dig holes and destroy paths. Maybe they're like, ooh, I don't know if that's a good idea. Personally, I hope we can still use our shovels, but we haven't seen that and it's not listed here, so I'm not sure. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Personally, I was hoping to leave a few holes on everyone's island just to allow them to remember I was there. And this next piece is absolutely huge to me. Okay, so before we read it, I want to give you a little bit of story time. About a month and a half ago, the official Disney Dreamlight Valley Twitch channel showed up in my live stream, and it was really nice to talk to them, but I definitely took the opportunity to complain about one thing. And my chat was giving me a hard time. They're like, really, Senpai? The official channel is here, and you're talking about a change you didn't like? But yes, I did, and they said their team was looking into fixing it, and that problem I had was in furniture mode. Furniture mode's camera angles had been changed to only look at a downward angle, and you couldn't really flatten it out and look straight. For me, as a content creator, this was really tough to deal with because I used the furniture mode camera to gather footage for things like valley tours and YouTube videos. So when they altered the camera to where I couldn't pick up all the angles I used to be able to, it made content creation a lot more complicated for me. And speaking to my viewers on Twitch, a lot of them said even though they don't make content, they found the new camera angles difficult to work with because it was harder to pick up certain furniture items. This segment reads, last update we implemented some changes to the furniture mode camera that sought to increase performance stability. However, we saw that many fans missed the old camera functionality, so we've reverted this change, all while maintaining the stability upgrades. So thank you so much, Dreamlight Valley and Gameloft, for returning the camera functionality to furniture mode. This is probably one of the most exciting things in the patch notes for me. A lot of this stuff we already knew, but this, I was praying that this would be fixed, and it just makes my job as a content creator much easier. And for you guys decorating your valleys, I'm sure this makes things a little bit simpler as well. Interestingly, they said they've reverted the change while maintaining the stability. And I'm very curious about how they've been able to do that. But at the end of the day, I'm just ecstatic that they have. Next up, for Nintendo Switch players, it says increased text size on Nintendo Switch, improving readability. Now, I'm surprised that this is just now happening, considering that Switch players make up a vast number of the Disney Dreamlight Valley players, and it's been a very popular game on Switch for a long time now. But if you're playing on a Switch Lite or a smaller Switch, seeing the text on screen can be pretty difficult. So I'm glad that this has finally been adjusted. What I would like to see is an option in the settings where you can have a slider to make the text bigger or smaller. I know that would be a little bit more complicated to incorporate, but this would make the game much more accessible to anybody that's visually impaired or has trouble reading. And next up, this one's always kind of funny to me because it's always in the patch notes, but we expect it, so they don't even really have to include it. It says express and reward yourself with a wide range of new weekly Dream Snap challenges. Now, this next portion is very exciting. All of this information here is going to focus on the premium shop. Starting off here, it says more optional items are coming to the premium shop for a limited time, as well as some returning favorites from past star paths. We've updated the premium shop to offer you an even better shopping experience. What this means is all weekly rotations are now comprised of 8 bundles/items, preview clothing on your avatar before buying, get a better look at any special animations an item may have thanks to a revolving preview display, toggle between day and night where applicable to get a better idea of how an item will look in the valley before buying. Please note, Disney Dreamlight Valley Arcade Edition does not include seasonal star paths or the premium shop. So these are all very exciting changes for the premium shop. I'm thrilled to finally see that we will be staying at 8 bundles, and this may get a little bit overwhelming for new players who don't have a whole lot of moonstones or a lot of the older items that are returning, because now you're going to feel pressured to maybe spend more moonstones or buy moonstones. I just want to say, just do your best to remember that items almost always come back to the shop. So if you're really excited about getting the Disney Park Star Path items from the first Star Path and you want to make that your priority, that would be a great idea, because these new premium shop items that are becoming, they will circle back around. In fact, during the Laugh Floor, several of the premium shop items that dropped at the beginning of the update re-released near the end of it. So it was only a few weeks later where they came back around. So keep that in mind. Items will come back. And the last 3 items here are really cool. You know, being able to preview clothing on your avatar, getting a better look at special animations, and toggling between day and night to know how an item looks at day or night is really, really cool. They are just trying to make it easier for everyone to see exactly what they're getting, and that's very admirable of them. I think this is a really great approach, and like I've stated in the past, Disney Dreamlight Valley is a shining example of live service done right. There are a lot of live service games that offer microtransactions, but they do it in a really shady way that involves gambling, getting loot boxes, not knowing what you're buying. Dreamlight Valley has done very well to make players very, very aware and make it very clear as to exactly what they're getting for their moonstones. They've also been very generous with the distribution of moonstones. Of course, one of the ways they're able to do this is by being a pay-to-play game, but Dreamlight Valley is far from the only pay-to-play live service game. I mean, there's Diablo, Sea of Thieves, World of Warcraft. Pay-to-play live service games are more common than some people may think, and all live service games need an in-game currency or need some kind of economy that keeps these free updates coming. The whole reason I'm talking about this is because this is why I like the way Dreamlight Valley approaches this. And as long as Dreamlight Valley doesn't add any loot boxes or mystery packs that you can buy for moonstones, then I will continue to be proud and supportive of their approach here, because getting into those gambling mechanics with moonstones is a very slippery slope. And with that, let's move on to new content and improvements. This entire next section is going to focus on the Rift in Time expansion. Starting off here, it says, welcome a very lucky new pal to Eternity Isle and the Valley. Oswald makes his grand entrance alongside new friendship quests and new unique items to unlock. Pick up where the story of a Rift in Time left off as you dive into Act 2, The Spark of Imagination. Use your hard-earned miss to upgrade the Royal Hourglass to level 4, unlocking the following: new ancient parts to collect, new furniture items to craft at the time-bending station, new fragments and their associated furniture items inspired by iconic Disney and Pixar stories, including Disney and Pixar's Ratatouille Metro entrance. Now let's talk about everything we just read before getting into the next section. Take control of the new dismantle and upcycle features at the time-bending station to repurpose old ancient parts, fragments, gifts, and ancient cores into currency that you can spend to craft other items within these categories. Okay, so let's talk about all of this here. First off, in my update prep video that I released, tip number 1 was literally make sure you have some mist on hand, because we all knew upgrading that hourglass was going to require mist, and there could possibly be many more things in this update that require mist. Learning that there are new ancient parts to collect is very interesting, and I can't wait to see what new furniture items we're going to be able to craft at the time-bending station. Now, one thing I didn't mention in my update prep video that somebody made sure to mention in the comments was gathering glimmer, and they were right, as some of these new items are going to be made with fragments, which utilize Glimmer to create. Now, a lot of these items made from fragments and Glimmer are some of the coolest looking items in the game, so I can't wait to see what else is included here. Lastly, and I think the biggest thing on this list, is the take control of the new dismantle and upcycle feature. Now, unfortunately, this is only going to work with this Eternity Isle stuff for now, so it says old ancient parts, fragments, gifts, ancient cores, and, all of these things to break them down into a currency to craft other things within these categories. Now, I love this, and I really hope this is the beginning or a test for a game-wide feature that they'll bring out, because the player base has been asking for a way to break down and upcycle furniture and other items they've built for a long time. For example, if you played in early access and you made the previous pathing, none of the pathing had borders. So I spent thousands and thousands and thousands of stone making all my brick path. Well, then they came out with a brick path with borders that looked way better. So I deleted all of that path, and then I spent thousands and thousands and thousands of more stone to make the new path. And then they made the path cheaper to make. So, as the game changes, things that you made in the past might become irrelevant. So I really hope that we get a dismantle feature in the game somewhere down the road. This is the first time we've ever had a dismantle feature incorporated in anyway, so this could be the beginning of something very beautiful. Maybe the reason Disney Dreamlight Valley is doing a dismantle feature in Eternity Isle is because there are fewer items, and it would be easier and much less complicated for them to incorporate it here and see exactly what works and doesn't work for the player base. Our last two items here are make friends with new variants of the animal companions wandering Eternity Isle, albeit with a monochromatic flare. Now, to me, this part is really confusing, because in the developer showcase in the video, they told us that when Oswald interacted with our Eternity Isle companions, he could change them into monochromatic variants. But the way this is worded, it sounds like these variants are already wandering around Eternity Isle. So which one is it? Is Oswald making them monochromatic, or are they just already monochromatic and wandering around? Or maybe, I guess what's happening is the monochromatic ones are walking around, but that's because they've already been altered by Oswald. I don't know, it's really interesting. I'm excited to see how it works. They've also been talking about being able to customize our companions and pets, but this patch note list doesn't really reveal much of that, so I guess we're gonna have to see how it works when the update drops. And lastly, collect new Scramblecoin figurines. Oh boy, I bet you guys are excited. That offer up new powers and strategies to master, including Mike Wazowski from Disney and Pixar's Monsters, Inc. and Oswald. So it seems to me that the player base has had this love-hate relationship with Scramblecoin, where some of us really enjoyed it. I really had fun with Scramblecoin at first, and some people, they played Mickey once and said, nah, I'm not doing this. No way. I'm not touching that game ever again. Like, after playing with Mickey, they just pulled the whole idea of Scramblecoin out of their head and just threw it away. And they're like, yeah, that doesn't even exist. Which is fair, because not everybody likes board games and strategy games. I get that. And it's definitely a different kind of feature for a life sim like this. Now, for me, I love board games. I love strategy. And I had a blast making my Scramblecoin tutorial and mastering Scramblecoin and getting all the pieces. I really, really enjoyed it. So shout out to the devs for making Scramblecoin what it was. However, once I was done with Scramblecoin, having the villagers run up to me every single day with those annoying Scramblecoin logos over their head, begging me to play Scramblecoin, even though I was done with it, was just so annoying. So when the Laugh Floor update dropped and they gave us a toggle where we could turn off that Scramblecoin logo, boy, was I happy to see that. So yeah, definitely a love-hate relationship with Scramblecoin here, but for me, I'm pretty excited to see some new pieces coming out. And here at the end of the patch notes, this last portion is just top changes and bug fixes. Now, it wouldn't really do me any good to read all of these out to you guys. You guys probably don't want to hear this, because these are things people are going to be looking for if they have specific bugs for specific quests. So if you're one of my few viewers who's having an issue with lasers and crafts, and you're like, oh, but Senpai, like, I want to know if my quest was fixed, I got you covered. It would be easier this way. I'm going to leave a link to these patch notes in the video description down below. So if any of you have a bug with a particular quest, navigate to the video description, click the link, and then search the top changes and bug fixes for whatever bug you're looking for. Aside from various quest fixes, there's a ton of small issues that they fixed here as well, like invalid 5-digit codes for valley visits, Kristoff's stall just disappearing, blue chests being unclaimable, and and much more. If you want to read through these, feel free to grab the link from the video description. Now, like I said at the end of this video, we would talk about some changes that could potentially come to the game that are not mentioned in the patch notes. When the Laugh Floor update released on February 28th, we got the patch notes a day or two before, and they had a lot of interesting stuff, but there were tons of quality of life changes and gameplay mechanics that had been completely altered and not mentioned in the patch notes whatsoever. So for all of you guys watching this that were hoping to see more in these patch notes, hoping for more changes, and you're reading this now saying, "Oh, is that it? Man, I really wanted more." Don't worry, just wait for Wednesday, because I guarantee you there's going to be a lot more coming out in this update than what's listed right here. Personally, what I'm looking forward to the most, I would have to say, would be more camera features. I know we're going to be able to use the camera on rides, and that's great, but the camera has been relatively unchanged since the beginning of early access. And with Dream Snaps being a core feature of the game and the #1 way to generate moonstones, having more flexibility and control with the camera system would be really appreciated. I would just like to see things like sliders on the filters, more poses and animations, toggles that make villagers invisible so you don't have to wall off your areas, better control and camera movement, and facial poses that don't force my avatar to just stare at the floor for whatever reason. I mean, Gameloft, if you're watching this, this has literally been an issue since the first day of early access, and it's still an issue. I just want to be able to use a facial expression and look at the camera. That's all. Please fix. Thank you. And who knows, maybe that's already fixed. Nobody knows all the stuff that's going to be coming out in this update until the update is here, except for the devs. What are some changes and features you would like to see in this update that weren't listed in these patch notes? Be sure to leave them in the comments down below. If you found today's video helpful, informative, or simply entertaining, do me a very big favor and hit that thumbs up button, as it helps more people discover my channel. Consider subscribing for more Disney Dreamlight Valley. No, seriously, consider it. I will find you. A lot of you guys are watching and you're not subscribed yet, and I say it every time, but you're just not doing it. And I'm coming for you. And don't forget to check us out on Twitch if you would like to enjoy the update live on release day. As always, thank you so much for your time today, and enjoy the approaching update. This week's YouTube video shoutouts redeemed on Twitch go to my great friends Tiger and Thea. You two have been absolutely amazing members of our community and have both become dear friends to me. Never forget that you're a big part of what makes this community so special.